Everybody, welcome back to Off the Wall. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sol.
All right, episode 5 of Ted Lasso season 3. Man, stuff happened in this one that I did not see coming at all. Well, until a certain point in the episode, and I was like, "Oh, I think I see what they're going for here." Oh, okay.
I was just like, oh, so that's what those looks meant
That's what
last
those
episode.
we were trying to figure out last week. Like, what is that tone in her voice? What are these looks she's giving? And it just never once crossed my mind that
the looks were
she was
bang?
That she bang, okay. Nice shoes, wanna fuck? So that was a
Use that
thing.
as your pickup line next time.
Yeah. We'll get to that. It was an interesting episode for Ted, for Rebecca, who we still don't know exactly what's going on with Rebecca. She got some news from her doctor. We don't know what news.
We don't know if it's good or bad.
Exactly. But apparently she saw a real psychic, because this is two things now that have come to play out. Higgins was the first one to introduce the topic that everyone's been thinking, but nobody wants to actually admit to, that maybe it's Ted.
Yeah, maybe so he was great for morale, but he is an American football coach and still knows nothing about the game.
Yeah,
3 years in,
and sooner or later, you have to be like, there's only one common denominator here. We've changed out the team, positions, assistants, this, that, the other. Only thing that's been consistent this whole time has been Ted. And even Ted himself has been having those doubts. We saw that in the very first episode this season.
Yeah, why am I here?
Why am I here? And as the situation back home in Kansas seemingly continues to deteriorate, it might be time for Ted to go.
Yeah.
None of us want that, clearly. But
he's gonna go coach Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah.
They need it. They haven't won a single game this year yet.
But something we that people say a lot of times, and it's very true in the world of comedy, is sometimes you got to read the room. And if sooner or later, you can blame the audience as much as you want. Sooner or later, it's the person on stage, and they can blame the team or the opponents or whatever. Sooner or later, you got to be like, Ted, maybe it's you, man. Maybe you're just not what the team needs.
I mean, losing to Man City, though, is almost everyone does that. Yeah.
We spent.
Do we want to go person by person? How we gonna do?
I don't know. A lot happened this week.
Lot. You want to start with Keely?
Let's start with Keely and get that out the way, because first of all, let me just say, throughout this entire episode, Juno Temple looking fine as hell. In every scene, and everything, which I am 1000% fine with. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. That was the first thing I saw in this episode. I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. What were you guys saying? No, sorry.
Yeah, I was distracted.
I'm a guy.
I mean, my gay roommate in college said everyone likes boobs, gay, straight, man, woman. Everyone likes boobs. So I was just like, titties.
There's not a person alive in the world that doesn't like just a nice anyway. Anyway, so we spent a lot of time with Keely this episode. And a lot of the concerns I had about Keely from last week that we talked about really came to a head this week. This is going to sound harsher than I mean it to. She grew a spine this week. A lot of those fears I'd been having about her friend, it was very clear. She was like, okay, like, enough's enough. She is here for herself. She is not here to help me. She is here for her own ego and her own whatever she's trying to do. It's abundant at the beginning where she's like, fine, you don't like my idea? Fuck you. I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to invent Starfucker. And And sure, you don't give a damn about my dream of helping people have sex with celebrities. It is the weirdest sentence I've ever heard in my life, and I kinda loved every minute of it.
Once Keely not only stood up to her friend, but she also stood up to, um, Barbara too,
Mhm.
and it's because she finally had someone other than Rebecca, because Rebecca believes in her and tells her that she's strong and capable, but
That's her
she
best
doesn't
friend.
see Reb it's 1, her best friend, and 2, like, they're not completely in the same working environment anymore. Because before they saw each other every single day in
Yeah.
the office, pretty much, where now she's has her own thing, her own company, she's working apart, so she'll see Rebecca every once in a while, and Rebecca needed her, and she was not answering her phone, and we'll get to that when we get to the Rebecca stuff,
Mhm.
um, but so she was just like, "Okay, I need to deal with the Shandy thing. I also need to hold my ground against Barbara because she thinks I'm a blonde bimbo who doesn't know what I'm doing and is in over my head." And like even we have said, Keely maybe, but she's learning, she's growing, she's and the fact that she
That is
has
definitely
so
that is the old Keely. We're
yeah,
getting into the new Keely now.
yeah. And the fact that she has someone who, is the reason her company exists
Mhm.
outwardly believing in her saying, "I like Keely's idea, not going with Barbara's idea. I like what Keely's talking about. I like this. You should go," like giving her that belief. And then you get that vulnerable moment and is it Keely being attracted to her or is it Keely going, "Someone finally believing in me. I'm drunk. Fuck it. Let's go for it."
Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you just need someone who's nice, who makes
Yeah.
you feel happy for the first time in a while in whatever way possible, and a little
Yeah.
bit of liquid courage to just say, "You wanna just fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Also,
she's
by the
still
way,
sad about Roy, and
yes,
she admitted that this episode.
I think hooking up with Jack, having a drunken hookup with Jack is something that I think she just kinda needs.
Yeah.
Also, I want remote controlled windows so bad. As soon as she did that, I was like, "I want that in every room of my house."
I mean, you still get the silhouette, which
Don't care. Also, nice, but I just to be able to say I have remote controlled windows, like, as a brag would be excellent. The moment I saw a candle get lit, though, I was like, "Oh, I see where we're going with this. Okay, okay, okay."
My mom was like, "Who's that again? The one who gave her money for her company, and she's a lesbian? We don't know that yet, mom." And then they kiss, and I was like,
At least a little bit.
"Now we know." And we're like, "Now we know."
She's a she's at least a little bit gay. So, it was interesting enough that, like, I'm like, "How is this gonna play out?" Because on the one hand, as a self-contained plot device, I'm into it.
Yeah.
But
The ramifications.
well, not just the ramifications, I'm still salty about her and Roy. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
conflicted as hell.
she now fucked the person who controls her bag.
It's yeah, she essentially just fucked her boss. She
Yeah.
fucked her she fucked the money. She's quite literally fucking with the money. You never fuck with the money. That is like one of the first rules in business. You don't fuck with the money. You don't fuck with someone's money. She's quite literally fucking with the money.
Yeah.
So, and the company's struggling.
Yeah.
So, and Barbara already has a thorn in her side about Keeley and this whole thing.
Although if Barbara could fuck Rebecca, she totally would.
Who wouldn't? Look, there's not a person that we've mentioned between Keeley and Jack and anyway, let's just move on. I can already see where I'm going with this, and I don't like it. So, um, I've had a few tonight. It's been a day. It's been a day. So I've had it, but to shift away from that, that's pretty much everything that's going on with that. So
Yeah.
we can move forward from that. I
Also,
love
Shandy's way that she left too was
was
absolutely
excellent,
hilarious.
was very although
Just,
can we not do that with the sheep? Even when the sheep thing happened, I was just like, much like Rebecca, I was like, "I have 100 questions." Like, the logistics of how she made this happen are kind of impressive.
Hey, but it reminded Keely that, like, I need to get rid of her badge
Also,
access.
yeah, as somebody who once left a job and then went back to visit said job and found that my passcode still worked on the door to get into the building. Hey, guy, hey, HR, you might want to like deal with that. So one of my favorite moments, and it has nothing to do with the plot whatsoever, but Roy going around to every guy in the team saying like crush it, ruin it, destroy it. Goes over to Sam, be nicer than everybody else out there.
Okay,
Very good.
I know I just wanna go to Roy now because we went to Keely and now because you go to Keely, you gotta go to Roy, and Roy's face at the end with Ted's speech was like, "Knowing someone loves you," that face, but my favorite Roy moment of this episode was
Oh,
how you handle a bully,
yes.
and you strike at 4 a.m., which is the
Statistically,
statistically is when, you're least likely to defend yourself, and I love how Beard is like, "Correct."
correct. And you get a rope soaked in red blood, and you just
Like,
beat
red
them.
paint
You just keep beating them over,
until they're confused with thinking it's their own blood.
and then you stop, and then you start again, and then you keep
And it's so funny how, like, Beard was like, "Yes, I'm with you,
yeah,
correct," and then,
because
like, slowly is like, and then even Trent drops his cup of coffee.
oh, excellent. Best scene in the whole episode. Best scene in the whole episode. Because it even starts with Beard, who continues to be my favorite character on this show, other than Roy, saying, "Okay, listen. So if we get on the flight out of Paris, and then make the Paris and get on the first flight out of there, we can be there by noon, and then this kid's house will be ashes by 12:30." Very, very, just very good. Again, much like several episodes this season, Beard and Roy continue to just be my spirit animals with everything
Yes.
coming out of their mouths. And again, like up at this point, we assume Henry's been bullied. I kind of figured it
Yeah.
was the other way around. Like
Yeah.
the minute they said that she just said bullying, my
Yeah.
first thought was because we know everything going on with the lassos, was
Yeah.
Henry's acting out.
Yeah.
And we still don't know the full details of what happened, but it
Mm.
seemed to come to an okay ending, but I don't think we've heard the last of this yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just love all the Papa Bear and adopted uncle energy of like somebody fucked with the cub. We
Yeah.
ride at dawn. um and Trent dropping the cup was excellent, but and also
Yes.
him just casually trying to throw a piece of advice and Roy just saying like, "Oh yeah, we could do that. Would it work? No, we'd still get fucked."
And I love, like, the journalistic integrity of, like, "Oh, no, I can't give advice," and then them like, "Oh, just like a nature documentary when, like, you see a poor monkey about to get devoured," and then
And
they're
Roy just
and Roy's like, "I'm not gonna be a little monkey, I'm gonna be"
he's a big ape.
and
Because
I
he's a
love the
big ape.
way I love the way that Roy incorporates himself 'cause, like, originally, he's like, "Yeah, fuck this noise," and would leave, like, the Diamond Dog stuff or
Yeah.
anything that, like, Beard or Ted would do, but the way that now, like, he's like, "I'm gonna incorporate myself into it, but I'm gonna do it in my own way. So you're gonna be little chimps, I'm gonna be an ape.
Because
If"
he's a big dumb ape.
yeah. "If you guys are gonna, like, howl like dogs and have your, like, little diamond dog things, I'm gonna listen in and then give my opinion with some expletives."
Bullshit.
So, like, I'm a part, but not really, but I'm gonna be in it the way I wanna be in it, and I love the way that Roy, like, found a way to be a part of the group in his own special way.
He already growls, so
Yeah.
but even like when you go back to like the Julie Andrews conversation, which was stellar television, like more of that. Like that clip alone like went viral like on YouTube and Twitter because it was like they just had a whole conversation about which version of Julie Andrews they want to bone. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah,
um,
and I 100% Princess Diaries was a great touch.
Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins. I don't know what it is.
I love Princess
Well,
Diaries when I
it's
was
like Roy
younger.
said. She's proper, and you feel like she'd let you know if you'd been bad, and she'd tell you. Anyway, this is the thirstiest, episode review we've ever done. Holy shit. This is you guys, without knowing it, have seen me on camera high many, many times. This might be the first time I've ever been drunk on a review. Anyway,
and
apparently
and
I'm a
he's
thirsty
that type
bitch.
of drunk right now.
Apparently 3-shot Mike is a thirsty bitch. But, we also know the team in general is just not doing well. Ever since
No,
they lost to Nate
I think they said 7 games?
7 games in a row, they've lost 7 games in a row. Even Zava just isn't cutting it anymore, it's just not enough.
Yeah,
Um, their
and
hearts are just aren't in it, it seems like.
it's also I forget who said it, but I think it was Roy, where, like, they're if they're gonna watch Zava, then pay for a fucking ticket,
Yeah.
and that's what pretty much Zava came in, and he's the one-man show, so he's gonna push everyone to the side. It's like the Will Ferrell movie, Kicking and Screaming, Pass to the Italians. Um
What a reference. Not where I saw it. She just "It's like the Will Ferrell movie," and I was like, "Which one?" Kicking and Screaming. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
the soccer one, I guess. Wow.
Yes. Where it's like, always pass to the Italians, and in
Yeah,
that moment, no one else gets better, no one else
yeah.
gets to the potential that they can get to because what they're doing is they're just setting up Zava for everything. And we see that where like Jamie wants to be able to score goals again because that's what he was. He's a goal scorer, he's a forward. Um, Danny Rojas used to score goals. We haven't heard or seen any goals from him this season. So you have people on the team that are not to their potential and not putting that output, that XG that some people talk about. Mike has no idea what I'm saying when I say XG. Um,
Those are both I know that they're both letters of the alphabet.
yes, yes.
I had to explain to somebody I had to explain to somebody
Expected
at work.
goals.
Okay. I had to explain to somebody at work today what OG meant. So,
But
I felt so
and where it's one of those things of you take Zava out, now everyone's like, what the fuck do we do now? As if they've never played as a team before. But
Mhm.
it's almost like they've been in an off season and they're rusty, especially Colin, who hasn't played at all because Zava's been playing. So it's one of those things of like, okay, now you guys need to get your training up. You need to set shit up where your strengths are. The way that you guys won and got out of the championship back to the Premier League, but you weren't able to do that with Zava there. So now it's a good thing that Zava retired. I
It's
can see him coming back out of retirement, but
man.
so far right now he's retired.
Well, we saw so much of that from the moment he joined. They kept calling it Zava's Richmond AFC,
Yeah.
or AFC Richmond. They kept saying, they've been playing for 10 minutes without Zava, and no one can understand why." It became
Why
about
didn't he pass it to Zava? He was wide open.
exactly. As a guy who lives in Ohio, when LeBron was on the Cavs, it was the same shit. As a guy who lives in Ohio, who was running Cavs games at his day job at the TV station, I can tell you it was the same shit. That when if LeBron was not on the court, the Cavs were like blind hedgehogs because he led them to that championship, and then you get into that last season where he was out for like the first I think 4 games because of an injury, and it was
Yeah.
like watching 5-year-olds on the court. They just
Yeah.
it was to the point where they'd become so dependent on him, they
Yeah.
couldn't function without him.
Right.
So when he
Where
left, I was
and
like, honestly, that's fine. go. Like,
Which is why it was good with him in the Miami Heat, and even then, our 1st season, yeah, we made it to the finals, but we didn't win because it was a little bit too much dependent on
mhm,
LeBron, even though we had Dwayne Wade and, Chris Bosh, and kind of the following 3 years that we had LeBron in the Miami Heat, it was a team effort where everyone played as part of the team, including LeBron, instead of LeBron being the star of the show.
exactly. When you
Yeah,
so AFC was far too dependent on Zava, and
yeah,
yeah, he got them up into the lead again. That can only go so far though. Sooner or later,
yeah,
the rest
and
of the team's gonna
they
play.
lost 7 games with him too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They were still losing even when he was there.
Yeah,
So now, man, that speech from Ted.
yeah,
Those like moments like that are why I started watching this show. I was late as hell to this show until my buddy showed me the dart scene from season 1. And when I
mm,
saw the dart scene, I was like, "Oh, I need to watch this show. I have
yeah,
to watch this show." It's moments like the speech that he gave the team today of like, "You know what? He doesn't wanna be here. Fine. I don't we don't want him here if he doesn't wanna be here.
right.
We're good enough on our own." That piece of paper is just that sign is just a piece of paper. Like, you
You gotta
guys are
believe here
yeah,
and here and here.
you are good enough on your own, and it's high time you started and I know athletes tend to be very superstitious. I get it.
Yeah,
But that was basically because also you gotta realize Ted cursed twice in the same sentence in this speech. That is how you know Ted is not
means
fucking around.
business.
He means they say he's I'm tired of that shit. We're not
Yeah,
doing that anymore. Hell no. We're
and he was talking to himself too in
absolutely,
that speech.
absolutely. Because we saw
Everyone else could have been gone, and it could have just been him in a mirror, and that would have been the same speech.
because we literally just before he has the speech, we watched him talk himself out of a panic attack.
Yep.
He started having one, and then he talked to Henry and had his moment where Henry was like, "Dad, I goofed.
Yeah.
I didn't do what you always told me to do, which was count to 10, be the bigger
When you're
person
angry,
when you're
which
angry."
we're seeing Henry was angry. We don't
Yeah.
know why he was angry. I hope we find out why he's angry.
I have some theories. I have a feeling part of it probably has something to do with the fact that his dad's the coach of AFC Richmond. Because I'm sure there are plenty of people, plenty of kids at that school who watch football who are probably talking some shit about his dad.
I feel that it's more of the separation of his parents and
It could be
another
that
guy
too.
coming into his house.
There's kind of a lot of things it could be. That's
Yeah.
kind of the issue is like, it could be a lot of things. But
Yeah.
Ted, when he got off the call and he had to go talk to the team, he started having it again. But he immediately went to watching Henry go down the escalator and he just kept saying, "He's okay. He's okay. He's okay."
Mhm.
And he talked himself out of it.
Yeah.
And he basically did the same thing for the team, which is, guys, this issue is bigger than one person. This is
Yeah.
us. We're enough. And that was one of
Yeah. And
moments
he
like
gave
that are
a
why you
look
watch the
to
show.
Jamie too.
You what?
He gave the look, like a longer look to Jamie,
Mhm.
and I think it's because he notices Jamie as a leader, whereas, like, everyone else might not be noticing Jamie giving his speeches or giving his, like, pep talks that then Zava takes over and then everyone credits Zava for. Jamie's been kind of a quasi leader of, the team, and I think Ted notices.
Well, because when Roy retired, he made, what's his name? Captain. Um,
Yeah, McAdoo.
thank you. Yeah.
What's his first name? Forgetting it.
It's a great question. It's a long cast list. I'm not scrolling through the whole thing. But yeah, and he was hesitant at first, but Roy was like, no, you can. Jamie has done what everyone's kind of always wanted him to do from day one when he was just an arrogant prick, which was like, you can be like the guiding light of this team if you just like get over yourself. And we've seen that from the moment Jamie came back to AFC Richmond, standing by Sam with the whole airline thing. Um, in fact, the episode even ends with, "Hey guys, hey, no practice tomorrow. We'll see you on Monday." First thing Jamie does is go to Roy and go, "We're still working out at 4 a.m., right?"
Yeah.
And that wasn't a, "Are we still working at 4 a.m.?" It was like, "No, we're doing this, right?" And
Yeah.
Roy's like, "Damn fucking right we are."
Yeah.
There is a fire lit under Jamie's ass right now.
Just he's back to being the best player.
Not see, I don't even think it's just that. I think it's
But the responsibility of being the
yeah.
because like Zava being there, even though he wanted to be the best and be better than Zava, the responsibility of being the best player on the team wasn't on his shoulder anymore.
Mhm,
And now it's back on his shoulder. And for an athlete, when you are the best player on the team, that is a lot of pressure because everyone has their off days. You can't have an off day if you're the best player on the team
yeah,
because you have to be the leader. You have to be the one showing up when no one else can.
yeah,
And so that pressure and that responsibility is now back on Jamie's shoulders.
and I think Jamie's embracing it. He's not
Yeah.
shying away from it. He's saying, like, "Someone's gotta do it. Fuck it, it's gonna be me. I'm here. I'm here to be, like, the team player everybody wants me to be." Um, ooh, man. Man, oh man, what a powerful episode this was.
Yeah.
More so than I was counting on, honestly, like,
Got to get to Rebecca stuff too.
woo, yeah, Rebecca is dealing with first of all, a dude that she went on some dates with, um, chill out, buddy.
Yeah.
"Oh, Rebecca, is that you? Yeah, we went out a bunch of times, it was going really great, then you dumped me for no reason, isn't that weird? By the way, this is my fiance. We me and
I
Rebecca
don't
just"
come here hoping that you're here every time.
"Okay." And then the Anthony Hopkins story was
Yeah, I'm
fucking
like, you
weird.
leave Anthony Hopkins
Yeah,
alone.
you leave
And it was I think it was more of a like, oh, you feel sad that someone she dated is now engaged, but then like I think it was written that way to also be like, no, 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 we're not that sad. You
yeah.
shouldn't be with him.
Yeah, you dodged a
He's an
bullet.
asshole.
Is he
Yeah.
the one that Roy said was fine in season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, the one where he's like,
And you deserve
"Fucking
more better
fine.
than fine.
You need someone that, like,
Don't
blows your"
you dare settle for just fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what I thought was the same guy. I kept waiting there for them to be like, "Turns out it wasn't actually Anthony Hopkins."
Yeah, no,
'Cause
and the other thing too is he was wearing a scarf, uh,
yeah,
that had Man City and Man United on it,
mhm,
which in the show when he was there, he was like, "Oh, I go back," because he's from Manchester
yeah,
apparently, that he goes back and forth between both teams, whoever's winning, which not
oof,
great. Also, those are rivals. They
yeah,
are bitter if you go to certain areas of Manchester that are the Manchester City areas and you wear the color red, it's
mhm,
like the Bloods and the Crips, man.
yeah,
Like, you cannot go to Man City bar and wearing a Man United stuff. You cannot go to a Man United bar wearing Man City. They hate each other, and the fact that he's wearing a scarf with both teams on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a scarf where one side says meat is murder and the other side is literally made of bacon. Like,
Yeah.
but also, I 1000% believe that if I asked Anthony Hopkins to do a video as Hannibal Lecter, he would do it.
Yes.
If you've ever followed Anthony Hopkins on social media, he's such a goober. I 1000% believe that he would do it if you
And
asked.
the only reason he wouldn't do it is if you're being an asshole.
If you're being an asshole, which leads me to believe dude is being an asshole.
Mhm.
If he's the kind of person who would then, you know, physically assault Sir Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
for not shooting a cameo, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but we got the shite and nining armor drop. And
Yeah.
she's still trying to get rid of that damn matchbook, the green matchbook.
Yeah.
And we know that the psychic told her, like, you'll be a mother or something like that, which is a
Yeah.
sore spot for Rebecca. So she
Yeah.
went and talked to her doctor and she got news from him, but we don't know what. And
Although
her,
she said, "That's what I thought."
yeah,
So it could very well be a misdirect, but
could be a
it
lot of
leads you to
things.
believe that she is not viable.
You see, I was going towards, like, I think either he told her, like, she's, like, infertile,
Mhm.
like, that she's sterile, or that, she's already hit menopause.
Mm.
Like, it's too late, you've kinda 'cause
Yeah.
I can totally see Rebecca being the person who's been so wrapped up in her own shit as far as running the team and dealing with Rupert goes the last couple of years, that she might have, like, had these symptoms of going through menopause and written it off as just her body reacting to going
Yeah.
through the bullshit.
Right.
So,
Did the psychic say you'll have a baby or you'll be pregnant?
I think she said, "You'll be a mother," was what she said. Just
Which she can
because
still
I
adopt.
yeah, because I had speculated, what if she ends up with Ted and she becomes a stepmother
Mm,
to his
yeah.
child? Because again, these 2 people are on such parallel paths with in their
Yeah.
lives that I can totally I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I can see them
Yeah.
m going in that direction. We
Yeah.
still got a lot of season to get through.
And
We're still only like halfway
I
through.
like your menopause theory
Yeah.
because a lot of times, oh, what is it when shit, not gallbladder, but like when you have the one of the one of the organs that you don't need to survive.
Appendix,
Appendix, there we go.
kidney.
Yeah, so your when your appendix is like, there's a lot of women that don't know that they're having appendicitis
Mm.
because they just think they're having their period and that it's period pain.
Okay.
So a lot of
Gotcha.
times, women will not even notice a change in their body because it's just the regular pain that women deal with on a monthly basis. So it could very much just be stress or pain or any of that, symptoms of menopause in her to be like, "Oh, I didn't even know."
Yeah.
So I 100% now that is my tinfoil hat theory that's in my head until I get told separately. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. One last one we should probably address is Nate.
Yeah,
Nate had a little bit of an arc.
yeah.
He went out with
Nate called his mom first
that. I
before
laughed so fucking hard. I laughed so fucking hard with because at first I thought, oh, he's leaving her a fucking voicemail, isn't he? And then she goes, "No, mom, I'm just about to call a girl. I just want to try it out and see what you thought." Okay, cool. Thanks, thanks, thanks. And I was just like,
oh,
oh my fucking
use this
god.
word instead.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good. So good.
uh,
Oh, that
uh,
yeah, no,
and I
excellent.
like the girl at that restaurant never gave him the time of day
Nope.
because he was acting like an asshole
Yep.
most of the times that he acted, um, higher than his britches
Yep.
every time that he would walk into that restaurant,
Mhm.
thinking he deserved things that she's just like, "I don't give a fuck who you are."
Mhm.
And when he finally came back to Earth
Got
was
knocked
when
down a fucking peg.
right, was when she 'cause she even laughed at him too, and was like, "The baklava is" or how does the British say baklava?
Yeah,
Is
the baklava
divine.
is divine.
Eh,
I
it's
love
baklava.
I love baklava.
And baklava is the way you pronounce
I
it.
love it.
Yes,
Love it. I
it's
love Greek food in
delicious.
general, but
Yes.
it's dough that's baked with honey and pistachios. What is there not to love?
Yeah. Eh, but, ew, I laughed so hard, him testing his, on his mom, calling his mom
So
first.
good.
That was hilarious. And then having the worst date ever because that place means something to him,
Yeah.
and she's just like, "If I can't put it on my Instagram, then it's not worth it." I know
Yeah.
she's British, but I'm giving her that Valley Girl,
It's totally what
California,
she was doing, yeah. If this
'cause
was an
that's
American
exactly what
show
she was doing.
if this was an American show, that's what she would that's what she would talk like, 1000%. And yeah,
Yes.
that moment of like, we come here for birthdays, anniversaries, when I got promoted at Richmond, when I took over the job at Man City, like, I've like, this restaurant is and she just goes to
And
her
that hostess did not give a fuck about him
you
the
all
whole time.
flying, "Fuck!" And but I think it's weird because even at the beginning of this season, when he first went into the restaurant again, it was like, "Oh, I'm bringing, buying lunch for the team or whatever." You can tell where she was just kinda like, "This motherfucker keeps coming in here, and I can't tell if he's making a pass at me trying to impress me or if he's just a dick." And
Yeah.
kind of both, because he did try to ask her out in season 1,
Yeah.
didn't he? Or season 2 rather, I
Season 2,
swear.
season 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was just like, "No." But I think it was her seeing him get turned into a human. For the first time,
Yeah.
she was just seeing Nate, and she realized this is just a guy because it wasn't like he brought
Seeing the love, not the
yeah,
asshole.
because it wasn't like he brought this model here and was being a sleazeball the whole night. She watched as he brought this model here and tried to be a genuinely good date and have and say, "I love the food here, and this restaurant means something to me and my family." And she got to see him being, like you said, the Nate that we fucking love. And she was just kind of like, "Oh, he doesn't suck. I'll go share some baklava with him."
Yeah. I mean, it's available. Honestly, even if it was someone I hated and there was leftover baklava, I
Just
might sit down
I'm gonna
and
eat the
have some
baklava.
baklava.
It's free baklava, guys. Like if you've and a lot of you watchers have
And
never
that is a lot of baklava for 2.
that was a lot of fucking baklava in big pieces. Because usually when you get
Yeah.
baklava, it's cut
Yeah,
into
you get
small
the
pieces
little
because it's a lot. It's very
yeah.
sweet. It's a lot. That was some big fucking baklava. That was like a
Yeah.
brownie. That was like a baklava brownie.
And the fact too that he knows where they source their food too.
Yeah, the pitas from the
Yeah.
bakery up the road, and it's
Yeah.
because honestly, like Greek food is not the prettiest. Like Greek food is not like the most visually appealing food, but it is
But it's
delicious.
delicious.
Greek food and Indian food, terrible on camera, delicious in the belly. Uh,
Yeah.
Fight me. I'm sorry, it's true. It doesn't look great on the plate, but it tastes
No,
good.
it does not. But it's
Yeah,
delicious.
she got to see human Nate. Then again,
Yeah.
The Nate that we know that he can still
Yeah.
be. We're slowly getting the redemption of Nate, and I'm glad it's happening in little tiny pieces, and it's not just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's redeemed."
Yeah.
Kylo Ren said he was sorry to the hallucination of his dad, so it's all cool now. Like, no, he
I think they watched some Avatar: The Last Airbender to see how you do a proper redemption arc with Zuko.
yeah, redemption is possible for Nate. We don't want him to be redeemed. We want Nate to get a soccer ball to the face, a la Scott Sterling, again, again,
I
and again, and
mean,
again, and
if
again.
he punches Rupert in the face,
All will be forgiven.
all would be forgiven.
That's all he's got to do. He's just got to give Rupert one good swift kneecap to the cojones.
Yeah.
We're all good.
It's like Rupert is a Nazi and he's Captain America, just punch him in
It's
the
fine.
face.
He has to either punch Rupert in the face or let Roy kick him in the nuts.
Or both.
Or both. I'm
¿Por
fine
qué
with
no
both
las
too.
dos?
Yeah, porque no las dos. Exactly. So I'm fine with either. I'm fine with either. But we're getting it in little increments, which I think is
Mm,
you can't because that betrayal of the Nate's betrayal set the internet on fucking fire.
yeah.
Like
And the team has to forgive him too, and that's gonna take work.
I don't know if they're going to because the rumor is that this is the last season. That has not
Yeah.
been confirmed or denied. The rumor is that this is the last season.
But Jason Sudeikis pretty much from season 1 said, "This is 3 seasons, and that's
Yeah.
it."
So and again, like maybe he was writing season 3 and was like, maybe we might need to go a little bit longer. I think I might have more story to tell. It's fine. But he knows he
Yeah.
eventually does have an endpoint. So so the current rumor is that this is the last season. I don't necessarily see the team forgiving Nate this season, but I do see Nate having a redemption in this season.
Yeah.
It might be a situation where he gets redeemed and just walks away from football altogether,
Or becomes the Richmond coach as, he goes back home.
or he goes back to the States with Ted and he learns how to coach American football. Can you just I'm just trying to picture tiny little timid Nate on an American gridiron. Where's
Have
that
you seen
show?
the coach of, the Miami Dolphins?
Absolutely not.
He is a tiny, skinny man. He used to be the offensive coordinator
Yeah.
for the San Francisco 49ers, and you just watch him talk and you're like, "You're a little dude, but
So
you like
cute. I
but
could
you're really good at football."
you're just I could pet you. You're so
Yes.
little.
And he's probably not that tiny, but compared to everyone else around him.
Well, yeah, you're surrounded by 6'2", 400-pound linebackers. Everyone's gonna look
Yeah.
I look tiny next to football players, and I am not. So, um, this episode was great. This episode, really it did like, nothing has felt like filler, but it was one of those, like, it was a lot of episodes that it was the season was feeling kinda episodic at the beginning, and I don't mean that in a negative way, just it was a little bit episodic. Now it's kinda like, "Okay, I see where we're going. I see now how we're going to start redeeming Nate, how we're going to start handling Ted finding his place, finding out whether or not he still wants to coach the team anymore." I can start to see where we're going, and I'm
Mm.
happy with it. Fix the Roy and Keeley stuff, writers. But other than that, I'm happy with where we're going. I'm
What
gonna die on this hill. I will die on this fucking
question,
hill.
do we get Trent Crimm's book at the end
I
of the season?
really fucking hope so. I want Trent to have an episode in this season where it's Trent's episode.
Like the Coach Beard episode
Like the Coach
last
Beard
season?
episode. I want a Trent Krim episode this season. Doesn't gotta be as fucking out there because Beard is the weirdest person on the face of the earth. He needed a weird
Yeah.
episode. I want a Trent Krim episode this season. Next week's episode is written by specifically Jason Sudeikis. The director has not been announced yet. Um, but Jason Sudeikis, Joe Kelly, and Brandon Hunt. And
I
it's called
wonder
Sunflowers.
I wonder how far in the season we are because we did have that montage with Zava
Right.
a few episodes ago, and then we had the time jump of 7
Oh, oh,
they
in
said
oh, in the
7
oh, in the
weeks
in the football season. I thought you meant in the
in the
show season.
football.
I was like, we're
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
through.
No, no, no,
Um,
in the football season, because like, the first few episodes were just a few games, and then they did that whole montage of Zava, multiple
mhm.
games, them beating Leeds United and Scum, um,
And then this
and
was 7
multiple other
weeks.
teams, and then this is they said 7 weeks, and so how far are we in the season
And
now?
because we know that the season started more or less, I would probably say July, because Henry was visiting
Uh,
for summer vacation and was going home because school was
I
about to
would say
start.
August,
So
probably,
August at the latest. So let's play with August.
yeah,
We've gotta be
almost to
Christmas time?
yeah, almost to Christmas again.
Do we get another Christmas episode? If we get another Christmas episode, I'm gonna be so happy.
What song is Hannah Waddingham gonna sing this season? Because she had the Frozen song in the first season,
Okay,
she had her Christmas song in this season. What is she
okay.
singing this year? I need her to sing because her voice is beautiful and
Blue
angelic.
Eyes Crying in the Rain by Willie Nelson. I don't hear any other ideas, so that's what we're going with. Breaking the Law by Judas Priest because they're the greatest fucking band ever.
Breaking the
Um,
law, breaking the law.
fuck yeah. And maybe could she duet with Rob Halford? He is British. Anyway, what an episode. What an episode of Ted Lasso. Absolutely enjoyed this one. Again, they just keep knocking them out of the park. Loved it. Can't wait to see more. Not next week's episode, but the week after that is the one that's written by Keeley Hazel and Dylan Mayer. And Keeley Hazel is, of course, the woman who plays in the show, son of a bitch,
Rupert's wife.
Bex. Yeah. So that's coming. Anyway. There we go. I'm stuck in there. So I'm looking forward to the end of this, not the end of the season, but like the next. I mean, I'm looking forward to the end of the season, but I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Uh, they keep knocking it, and we know next week was written specifically by Jason Sudeikis. So I feel like next week's going to be a sad episode.
Yeah. We'll
um,
probably get a little bit more Henry.
I hope so. I really
Yeah.
do. I really do. So I'm into it. We'll be here to talk about it again next week, guys. As long as you guys keep watching these, we'll keep talking about them. Don't forget, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to be doing our full blown, a week removed recap of Star Wars Celebration, covering all the news and announcements that came out of that. Lot to get into with that. So make sure you guys go check that out and check out all the other reviews and reactions we have here on the channel. Let us know what your favorite moment of this episode was, and how much are you in favor of Roy's plan for beating people at 4 a.m. I'm totally into it. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again here next time on Off the Wall.
Is Ted's
Bye.
therapist still fucking that really
I
attractive guy?
really hope so. I hope she's rocking his work.